Hello, my name is Connor Gange, and for the topic I chose for my seminar was the police can control crime. This involves a great detail about the broken windows theory. What is this theory? The metaphor of the broken windows theory is when a building's broken and left unrepaired, the rest of the windows will soon be broken too. This impacted how law enforcement and political officials view crime and disorder. It improved the overall quality of lives in the neighborhood, and it is used from coast to coast in reduced violence crime. The thesis was that disorder, if left unchecked, causes serious crime. The institution of policing is individual level mechanism of crime control because an officer's duty is to identify and apprehend those who do bad things. Since the 1930s, policing had been dominated by arresting serious criminal offenders. In the 1970s, it was then replaced by community-based policing. That is also known as order maintenance. It wasn't just about crime control, it was also social control. Once the 1980s hit, social and economical conditions crashed in inner cities. This included drugs, guns, and unemployment. Violent crime rates were at an all-time and still rising. Something needed to be done. So in 1982, James Q. Wilson and George L. Kelly released an article called "The Broken Windows: The Police and Neighborhood Safety." As I said, the thesis was that disorder, if left unchecked, causes serious crime. Physical disorder is the rundown atmosphere in neighborhood or communities. It includes litter in public places, abandoned buildings, graffiti, and vandalism. Social disorder involves prostitution, sales and use of illegal drugs, public urination, public drinking, and intoxication. The, def- the definition of disorder is any connection or behavior that fails to conform to the traditional standards of decency, cleanliness, and proper conduct. Who keeps this disorder in check? The police do, and their key is to order maintenance. The police should act proactively, not reactively. They should stop crime before it starts by taking control of the streets. Order maintenance policing would jumpstart informal social control in areas where it has been broken down. The article was a small piece in the popular magazine called The Atlantic Monthly. This article had no statistics, no criminological jargon, and no talk of theories. One of its strengths was the simplicity that gained popular appeal. Another reason why police administered like the broken windows theory was that because it was conceptualized police as being central to crime prevention and reduction. This theory kept disorder in check. This style of policing owes its popularity to one person, William Bratton, who was the New York City Transit Authority and the NYPD. He gave trial runs first in subways and then on the streets of New York City. Violent crimes took a plunge. Street crimes, muggings, and murders was that broken windows policing was supposed to reduce it. And that's what it did. The police were not the only ones who took advantage of this theory, though. Small businesses immediately saw this theory to be beneficial. The theory just hit at the same time business improvements districts, known as BIDs, were taken off. The booming industry and rapid growth of cities into the mid to late 1800s brought jobs and wealth to the city. The primary goal of BIDs is to attract businesses, and the most common strategy is neighborhood cleanup. They set goals and standards in terms of expectations for each business owner and collective groups for groups. BID employs private security guards or contracts with the city for enhanced police services in their districts, so the social control disorders such as public urination, can be strictly enforced. Broken windows did not set the speed movement, but it started to help the process. The pros of broken window theory include juveniles may learn to clean up their act, crime rates dropped, and motivated leadership in communities. For juveniles, police could catch young troublemakers at an early age, which then would allow them to realize the implications of illegal behavior while they are still young. This could save them from making worse decisions down the road. For crime rates drop, both small offensive and serious crime dropped when the broken windows theory policing system started in New York City in the 90s. Murder decreased by 19% and car theft fell by 15% in the first year. This occurred throughout the United States, not just particularly in New York City. For motivated leaderships, city leaders and police can be focused on the communities safer and also cleaner from all crime. With every pro, though, comes cons. For juveniles who get caught, they will have a record that could hurt their future. According to Randall Sheldon, this should place them in a situation of getting into worse activities. We all have our own opinion, just like in the debates. Other people's perspectives are different, and it's the same with social and physical disorder. For individual rights may be abused, police could be tempted to cross the line of duty. That could include harassing, especially minorities and the poor, all the way to police brutality. Disorder and crime are related, but the precise nature of connection is not clear. Like I said earlier, people may draw a clear mental distinction between these two different categories, that is being social and physical. So disorder has never been empirically defined, and it is similar to what order maintenance means in the context of policing. This theory also received criticism for being a threat to police-community relations, especially where in high areas where police-citizen relationships are already strained. There are other ways that police can control crime, though. The first one is to increase the number of police officers. With increasing the number of officers, the 1990s brought down crime by 5%. Just simply having more officers on the street, even if they're not arresting them, can be a deterrent to possible suspects. The other one is the introduction of CompStat. CompStat was implemented as a measure to control crime and improve the quality of life in the city. Crime is about 10% lower in a city that uses a program such as CompStat than in a city that does not use it. In the first graphic, property crime, you can see in the 1990s that it was high. The graph darkens to show more cities adopting CompStat, and as you can see, both property crime and violent crime decreased over time. It was 1998 when the city started using CompStat, and as it darkens, more and more cities are using that CompStat, and as you can see, it is decreasing. It is the same thing for violent crime, 1998. Few cities are starting to use it, but as the years go on, more and more cities are using it, and crime decreases. In conclusion, the physical and social disorder was a great idea that caught on quickly, thankful to the New York City experience. Just take a look around and look at how many police departments use this theory. As I said earlier, it is used from coast to coast. Now, there are some drawbacks, just as there is in any other theory, such as juveniles. The broad definition of disorder and rights may be abused. But there are other ways that police can prevent crime, such as hiring more police officers and using a system like CompStat. Hopefully in the years to come, we could see academics and police coming together so that policy and therapy can be integrated to improve communities and the public safety. Thank you for your time.